When fans first heard Stefano finally break his silence about Sara Bluma and Kenyammen, it sent shockwaves across both Italy and Turkey. For months, speculation about the mysterious love triangle had dominated tabloids, talk shows, and fan discussions. Rumors swirled of secret meetings in Rome, cryptic Instagram posts, and a sudden breakup that no one seemed to fully understand. Yet throughout it all, Stefano had remained silent, choosing not to add fuel to the fire. That silence, however, became its own story. People began to wonder, was he protecting Sara? Was he afraid of Cannes' overwhelming fame? Or was he simply too broken to speak? Now, with his voice finally trembling through interviews, the truth has come to light, and the world is captivated. Stefano's words were not those of a man seeking revenge, but of someone carrying the heavy weight of heartbreak. "Sara was my everything," he confessed. "She brought life into my days, but she also carried a world of ambition that slowly pushed me aside." He recalled their early days together, filled with laughter, late-night talks, and small escapes from the public eye. They vacationed on the Amalfi Coast, walked hand in hand through the narrow streets of Florence, and dreamed of a future that seemed unshakable. But fame, Stefano admitted, is a cruel companion. "When it was just the two of us, I thought nothing could break us. But when the cameras arrived, I realized I was no longer enough." The audience gasped when he finally addressed the connection to Kenyammen. For months, paparazzi photos had fueled whispers of a closeness between Sara and the Turkish heartthrob. A blurry shot of them laughing at a Rome cafe, a coincidental appearance at the same events, and carefully timed social media posts had all but convinced fans that something was happening. Stefano admitted that he too had noticed the signs. "At first, I tried to believe it was just gossip," he said. "But deep down, I felt it. The way she lit up when his name was mentioned, it wasn't something I could ignore." The most shocking revelation came when Stefano described a painful conversation he had with Sara. "I asked her if she loved him," he revealed, his voice cracking. "She didn't say yes, but she didn't say no either. That silence told me everything I needed to know." Those words became an instant headline across Italy. "Sara Bluma's silence breaks Stefano's heart." Talk shows replayed the clip endlessly, dissecting the implications. Some commentators argued that Sara's refusal to answer was as good as an admission. Others defended her, suggesting she may have been overwhelmed and unsure of her feelings. Either way, the ambiguity only deepened the drama. Stefano was careful not to paint Ken as the villain. "Kenyammen is not to blame for the choices Sara made," he admitted. "But when someone becomes fascinated by another person, you can feel it in your bones. I felt it every day." That honesty struck fans like lightning. Here was a man acknowledging not only his pain but also the complexities of love and fame. It wasn't jealousy, it was raw vulnerability. As the confession spread, fan reactions exploded worldwide. In Italy, Twitter trended with #StefanoSpeaks and #SaraAndCan, while in Turkey, fans debated fiercely whether Ken had truly been involved. Some accused Sara of betrayal, posting side-by-side comparisons of her time with Stefano versus her rumored moments with Ken. Others rushed to her defense, claiming Stefano was trying to win sympathy. On Instagram, edits of the trio flooded timelines, Sara caught between Stefano's broken gaze and Ken's confident smile. TikTok became a battlefield of theories, with fans analyzing body language in old interviews, searching for hidden meanings in Sara's captions, and even creating fanfiction-style reenactments of the supposed love triangle. Meanwhile, the Italian press went into overdrive. Tabloids printed headlines like "Stefano's Tears," "The Truth Behind Sara's Secret Nights," and "Kenyammen, Unintentional Heartbreaker?" Morning talk shows invited relationship experts to debate the psychology of silence in relationships. One commentator dramatically claimed, when Sara refused to answer Stefano's question, she gave the loudest answer of all. Sara herself stayed quiet, and that silence became deafening. Her Instagram posts, glamorous outfits, brand deals, and travel diaries suddenly became battlegrounds for fan wars. She turned off comments on several posts, which many interpreted as proof that Stefano's confession had hit close to home. If she had nothing to hide, why silence the fans? one follower asked. Others argued that she was protecting her mental health from the onslaught of negativity. Either way, her refusal to address the issue only added fuel to the fire. Kenyammen, known for staying away from direct scandal, also remained silent. But in his case, the silence carried its own mystery. Fans pointed out that he continued to follow Sara on Instagram, even liking some of her posts during the storm. Was this quiet support? A subtle sign of solidarity? Or was it simply coincidence? Whatever the case, every move he made, or didn't make, was scrutinized as if it were a coded message. Beyond the drama, Stephano's confession highlighted a painful reality: the emotional toll of loving someone in the spotlight. He admitted that he often felt like a shadow in Sara's world. Everywhere we went, it was about her. And then, it became about her in Cannes. People stopped seeing me as myself. I became just the man standing next to her. This heartbreaking statement resonated deeply with viewers who understood how fame can distort love. It wasn't just a story about three people, it was about the price of celebrity relationships in an unforgiving world. At one point, Stefano's vulnerability moved even his harshest critics. He admitted that despite everything, he still misses Sara at times. "When I see her smile on television, for a second, I forget everything. I remember the woman I loved, not the star she became." That line, repeated endlessly across social media, turned him into a symbol of wounded love. Fans created graphics with his quote, pairing it with melancholic photos of Sara, transforming his pain into a viral moment. The most emotional part of his revelation came at the end. When asked if he regretted ever loving Sara, Stephano shook his head. "No," he said firmly, his eyes glistening. "Because even if it ended painfully, even if it ended with Cannes' name between us, those moments were real. And I will always carry them with me." That closing statement silenced even the harshest commentators. It wasn't bitterness driving him, it was the need to be heard, the need to honor what was once real. In the days that followed, the saga only grew bigger. International outlets picked up the story, from Spain to Brazil, framing it as the newest chapter in the ongoing legend of Kenyammen's complicated love life. Sara, Cannes, and Stefano became trending names not just in their home countries but worldwide. Producers reportedly began pitching the idea of a docu-series about their intertwined lives, while fans begged Netflix to create a drama inspired by their story. What began as a simple confession had transformed into a cultural phenomenon. Stefano was no longer just the forgotten ex, he was the man brave enough to speak his truth, even if it broke him open in front of millions. And in doing so, he had etched his name into the never-ending saga of Sara, Bluma and Kenyammen. A story of love, betrayal, and the unshakable grip of fame.